What is goody? Scenic Gustapa here, aka Leroy Jenkins on Activision. Today I'm going to be going over the Ram 7 assault rifle attachments. I'm only going to be quickly going over the attachments, but I will be making videos about my favorite attachments. Let's get into it. First off, we have the muzzles. We have the flash guard. Pros: muzzle flash concealment, cons: bullet velocity. Helps keep your target visible and your position concealed by suppressing the flash. After that, we have the breacher device, attachment that enables one-hit melee kills. Now we have the tactical suppressor. Pros: sound suppression, cons: aimed on sight speed and aim locking steadiness. I don't think I actually went over the breacher device pros and cons, my bad. Pros: melee damage, cons: aimed on sight speed and aim locking steadiness. Now we're on to the muzzle brake. Pros: recoil stabilization, cons: aimed on sight speed and aiming stability. Redirects gases outward to stabilize the weapon for better control of sustained fire. Now we have the lightweight suppressor. Pros: sound suppression, cons: damage range. After that, the compensator expels gases upward to aggressively fight muzzle climb. Pros: recoil control, cons: aimed on sight speed and aiming stability. Last for the muzzles, we have the monolithic suppressor. Pros: sound suppression, damage range, cons: aimed on sight speed and aim locking steadiness. Now we are on to the barrels. First off, the FTAC 13.5 compact. Pros: aimed on sight speed and movement speed, cons: bullet velocity and recoil control. Improves combat in tight spaces. After that, the Forged Tack Eclipse. Pros: damage range, bullet velocity, cons: aimed on sight speed. Now we have the FSS Ranger. Pros: damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control, cons: aimed on sight speed and movement speed. After that, we have the lasers. First off, the 1 milliwatt laser. Improves hipfire accuracy while remaining undetected. Pros: hipfire accuracy, there are no cons. Now we have the 5 milliwatt laser. Pros: hipfire accuracy and spread to fire speed. Cons: laser visible to enemies. Exposes position when active only for the aggressive. Now we have the tack laser. Pros: aimed on sight speed and aiming stability. Aim locking steadiness. Cons: laser visible to enemies. Now we're on to the optics. First off, we have the Cronin LP945 Mini Reflex. Circular reflex frame keeps the focus on the target. Pros: precision sight picture, cons: aimed on sight speed. Now we have the Corp Combat Hollow Sight. Pros: precision sight picture, cons: aimed on sight speed. After that, the Operator Reflex Sight. Pros: precision sight picture, cons: aimed on sight speed. Now we have the Scout Combat Optic 3.25 magnification for long range targeting. Pros: zoom level, cons: aimed on sight speed. Now we have the 4.0 times flip hybrid long range 4.0 optic manually flips to closer range holographic sight. Pros: hollow and scout toggle and zoom level, cons: aimed on sight speed. Now we have the aim op reflex sight, provides higher precision. Pros: precision sight picture, cons: aimed on sight speed. After that, the APX5 holographic sight. Pros: precision sight picture, cons: aimed on sight speed. Now we have the Integral Hybrid 3.25 Scout with Integral Reflex Sight for quickly transitioning between sights. Pros: reflex and scout toggle and zoom level, cons: aimed on sight speed. Now we have the Solo Zero NVG Enhanced 3.25 Gen 3 Night Vision with Thermal Overlay for enhanced situational awareness, not compatible with night vision goggles. Pros: thermal target identification, and zoomable, cons aim down sight speed. Now we have the VLK 3.0 times optic. 3.0 times magnification provides reliable targeting. Pros, zoomable, cons aim down sight speed. Now we have the sniper scope, 4.4 times scope for longer range encounters. Optic glint visible to enemies. Pros, zoomable, cons aim down sight speed. Now we have the Viper reflex sight. Pros, precision sight picture, cons aim down sight speed. After that, the GI mini reflex, thin frame for unobstructed sight picture. Pros, precision sight picture, cons aim down sight speed. Now we have the PBX Hollow 7 sight. Pros, precision sight picture, cons aim down sight speed. Now we have the Cronin 2x2 Elite. Optic with 4.0 times magnification provides excellent targeting. Pros, zoomable, cons aim down sight speed. Next, the monocle reflex sight. Pros, precision sight picture, cons aim down sight speed. After that, we have the variable zoom scope. Scope zooms between 3.0 and 6.1s for fighting at extended ranges. Optic glint visible to enemies. Pros, zoomable and magnification toggle, cons aim down sight speed. Now we have the canted hybrid. 3.25 scout with a side mounting reflex sight, lets you change engagement distances with a flick of the wrist. Pros, reflex and scout toggle, and zoomable, cons aim down sight speed. Now we have the Merc thermal optic, 3.25 scope with thermal imaging, highlights targets and provides visibility in all lighting conditions, not compatible with night vision goggles. Pros, thermal target identification and zoomable, cons aim down sight speed. Last, for the optics, we have the thermal hybrid 3.25 thermal scope with a side mounting reflex sight, toggles thermal imaging with a flick of the wrist, not compatible with night vision goggles. Pros, reflex and thermal toggle and zoomable, cons aim down sight speed. Now we're on to the stocks. First off, the FTAC Equilibrium. Pros, aiming stability, cons aim walking movement speed. Cushion recoil pad keeps your aim steady for precision shots. Now we have the XRK Ultralight Hollow, designed for agility while aiming down sights. Pros, aim walking movement speed, cons aiming stability. Last, for these stocks, we have the XRK Close Quarters Stock. Gets you on target faster. Pros, aim down sight speed and aiming stability. Pros, aim down sight speed, cons aiming stability. Now we're on to the Underbarrels. First off, the Commando foregrip. Pros, recoil stabilization, aiming stability, cons movement speed. Helps maintain control during heavy fire. Now we have the M203 40mm high explosive. Underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots explosive rounds, cons aimed on sight speed and movement speed. Now we have the M203 40mm incendiary. Pros, Underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots incendiary rounds, cons aimed on sight speed and movement speed. Now we have the 12 gauge deputy. Pros, Underbarrel shotgun, cons aimed on sight speed. After that, we have the Merc foregrip. Pros, recoil control, hipfire accuracy. Cons, aim walking movement speed and aim down sight speed. Now we have the M203 40mm smoke screen. Pros, Underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots smoke rounds. Cons, aim down sight speed and movement speed. Next, the tactical foregrip. Superior control acquiring targets. Pros, aiming stability, cons movement speed. After that, the M203 40mm recon. Underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots snapshot rounds. Cons: aim down sight speed and movement speed. Next is the M203 40mm flash. Underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots flash rounds. Cons: aim down sight speed and movement speed. Next is the Ranger foregrip. Pros: recoil control, aiming stability. Cons: aim locking movement speed and aim down sight speed. Stabilizes weapon while aiming for improved long range combat. Now we have the M203 40mm concussive. Underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots concussive rounds. Cons: aim down sight speed and movement speed. After that, and last for the underbarrels, we have the operator foregrip. Pros: recoil control. Cons: aim down sight speed. No frills foregrip helps control vertical recoil for faster follow-up shots. Now we're on to the ammunition. There's only one. It's a 50 round mags. Magazine holds 50 rounds of 5.56 NATO ammunition with a slight weight increase. Pros: magazine ammo capacity. Cons: aimed on sight speed and movement speed. Now we're on to the rear grips. Rear grips. First off, the granulated grip tape. Pros: aiming stability, aim locking steadiness, keeps you steady and on target. Cons: aim locking movement speed. Next, the rubberized grip tape. Pros: recoil control, less steady but helps control recoil. Cons: aiming stability. Then we have the stapled grip tape. Pros: aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed, less stable but very agile. Cons: aiming stability. And last for the Ram 7, we have the perks. First off, the FMJ. Increased bullet penetration and damage against equipment and kill streaks. Next, sleight of hand. Pros: reload quickness. Next, frangible wounding. Bullets cause target healing to be briefly delayed. After that, heavy hitter. Melee produces greater stun on targets. Next is the fully loaded. Start with maximum reserve ammo. And then we have burst. Changes fire mode to 3-round burst. And now we have recon. See enemy nameplates at greater distances. After that, more money, earn additional XP for kills. Pros: headshot XP. Now we have fast melee for melee quickness. Then we have frangible disabling. Bullets slow enemy movement and briefly disable tactical sprint when shooting legs. Pros: crippling power. And last but not least, we have presence of mind for extended hold breath. And that is it for the Ram 7 assault rifle. Again, I will be making videos about my favorite attachments for each gun, but until then, have a great day and peace.